Wow, from here I could see the smiles, I sense the enthusiasm, I feel the energy. This is how I know I'm in happy Deer Park and not sad North Babylon. I asked the principal how many people the bleachers would sit. He said he wasn't sure, but last year's guest speaker slept about 200 of them. I promise I'll keep it quicker than that. Class of 2019, we're very proud of you. And I'm a very proud son of this town, one of 4 Deer Park High School grads in my family. Some of you have already asked what motivated me to join the Navy. Well, I'll tell you, it started when I was in 11th grade, and my dad sat me down in his office, which was the kitchen table, after Mom cleared away the supper dishes. He explained to me the financial facts of life, and he asked me which service academy I'd be applying to. I picked Navy, and fortunately, they accepted me. To put in perspective, when my class of '79 took this field, the Yankees were 2-time reigning World Series champs. There was only one Star Wars movie. There were no Avengers films, but you could buy their comics for 25 cents. And many in my class got to see Queen perform Bohemian Rhapsody live at the Nassau Coliseum. Those memories wash over me in these classrooms and on these fields. And while there's 40 years between my class and yours 19, please know that when I wore the cloth of my country, either afloat in the Pacific or in the deserts of the Middle East, it was alongside teenagers right out of high schools like this one. And that's why I have some relevant advice as you begin your adult journey. And here it is. Up to this point of your lives, most of you have measured success by being able to fit in. But from here on out, you'll start measuring success by being able to stand out. Big difference. Fit in, stand out. Okay? And the best way to stand out in anything you choose is to demonstrate 3 traits that are just important today as they were in 1979. Teamwork, tone, tenacity. A brief comment on each. Teamwork. I was fortunate to be part of and lead some high-level teams that helped defeat the Soviets and turn the tide of the battle in our war on terror. And what allowed us to work so well together, I learned back here in Deer Park. The key to great teamwork is building trust by living up to your word with one another. I learned that in varsity sports. I learned it in the chorus. I learned it in being part of the school play. All were opportunities to stand out individually for sure, but in the context of keeping your commitment to a common goal. Those lessons paid dividends on aircraft carriers in the North Atlantic and with special forces in Afghanistan. Carry those teamwork lessons with you to future workplaces 2019, and I guarantee you'll make them better. Tone. Stay positive. Show others that you care. My earliest role models who did that and maintained a positive outlook during tough times were guys like my NYPD dad and the many other cops and firemen that lived in Deer Park, like the Downeys and the Vigianos, and the coaches and the extracurricular activity directors at this school. What impressed me the most about their tone, and this is a lesson for every one of us, was they never tried to build a culture based on how much they knew, but they built a culture based on how much they cared. And I'll never forget my first fleet war game as a commander in San Diego. The opposition force destroyed us. I was outsmarted, embarrassed, and I knew I let my teammates down. Afterwards, my boss put his arm around my shoulder and said, "Hey, Paul, we got beat. Bad. Good thing this was just training. I know you'll do what's better next time." Even though I failed, my boss didn't make me feel like a failure. And that's the type of tone that you should set 2019. Tenacity. Nothing will help you overcome obstacles more than trying again. Sometimes trying harder, sometimes trying smarter. One of our most renowned admirals in the Navy was Hyman Rickover, father of the nuclear force. He's often cited that success teaches nothing, only failure teaches. Boy, is that right. I found that in several decades of dealing with young men and women, that the difference between achieving your goal and falling short is that one extra effort. The finest sailors and soldiers that I ever served with weren't the brightest, they weren't the most physical, and they didn't come from the best backgrounds. But they were the most tenacious. They showed grit and valor and resolve. and perseverance. They made themselves and their teams better by trying harder. Be tenacious, class of 2019. It'll make a difference. So this is your time, class of 19, your time to stand out by putting together those 3 T's. Join the long line of your Falcon predecessors, who are all heirs and heiresses, not to huge fortunes like the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts and the Bloombergs, but heirs to an American society of freedom and abundance that others have fought for and sacrificed for, that most of you are too young to have contributed to, yet. And now the 2 words you've been waiting to hear. In conclusion. Class of 19, I wish you all Godspeed and success as you graduate from fitting in to standing out by practicing teamwork, tone, tenacity, wherever you go. And as we say in the Navy, I wish you fair winds and following seas.